Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, the J Street resting site in Grants Pass is scheduled to close at midnight. A closer look at an update on the 7th Street site after the change in operating hours.
And the Medford School Board is discussing complaints against a board member. A timeline of the events at tonight's meeting as it's underway.
Plus, a local motel is running out of ideas for its marquee board, and it's seeking suggestions. Those details and much more news coming up right now on NewsWatch 12 at 6.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
More changes are coming to the unhoused community in Grants Pass, the city's largest resting site for people experiencing homelessness, closing at midnight. This comes just days after the 7th Street site began enforcing new hours. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt.
And I'm Tim Quidadamo. With the 7th Street resting site shifting to only overnight hours, I stopped by some former resting sites to see if unhoused residents were returning to those today. After new operating hours started being enforced at one of 2 designated resting sites for unhoused individuals in Grants Pass, some of the former sites are also staying vacant. Today, I drove around the city to see where people experiencing homelessness might have moved to after 7th Street's resting site changed to overnight hours only. At Riverside Park, I didn't notice any tents or other signs of unhoused residents setting up their belongings. Just down East Park Street, 3 individuals were sitting at the entrance of Baker Park, another former site, and 2 more were walking the street with their personal items. The vacant lot across the street from City Hall is fenced off and vacant. While I was driving downtown, I didn't notice any tents set up throughout the city, which has been a concern of residents and business owners after city leadership decided to make the changes. Still, dozens of tents are set up at the J Street resting site, which is scheduled to be cleared at midnight and early tomorrow morning. Some community members told me many unhoused residents have been walking to the outskirts of the city, knowing they could be given citations for camping in public spaces after last year's Supreme Court decision. Each of the last 3 days, I've reached out to Mayor Clint Scherf and all 7 city councilors. I have not heard anything back from any of them. In Grants Pass, I'm Tim Quidadamo.
And we've been tracking those changes at the 7th Street site, but we've also been tracking what is currently the largest homeless encampment in Grants Pass, the J Street site, which has been a temporary resting place for many, set to close at midnight as part of the city's effort to address homelessness.
We're joined live now by NewsWatch 12's Samantha Cadero with some team coverage. Joining us live from that J Street encampment, which is set to close in less than 6 hours. Sam, can you tell us what the situation looks like there right now?
Yeah, well, Tim, Haley, I'm here just right by the gates, and you can see this sign right here that says closure for J Street at 12 a.m. But as I've been kind of walking around and speaking to the residents here, they're saying that because it's below freezing, they have a little bit longer. They have until about 8 a.m. until they bring those bulldozers and the police come and sweep. But they've been telling me that they're freezing, they're cold, and I'm standing with gloves, a jacket, and fuzzy boots, and I'm freezing, and they're just wondering where they can go and what's next for them. But as I spoke with Mint earlier, they said that they're at capacity for that weather shelter. So what's next for them, we're not totally sure, but we will continue to track this, and we'll be here later tonight. But for now, I'm Samantha Cadero reporting live in Grants Pass.
Sam, thank you, and stay warm. Right now we're taking a live look out at Grants Pass. The sun has set. This view from the Tap Rock Northwest Grill. Let's turn now to Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman over in the Weather Center. Matt, we're expecting another cold night tonight. Is that right?
It will be cold, yeah. Temperatures at least getting below freezing in Grants Pass, but you'll notice clouds that have been slowly streaming in to southern Oregon and northern California. Some thicker cloud cover up to the north, and this will eventually all increase into our neck of the woods tonight. So that's going to keep temperatures from getting as cold as what we've seen in recent nights, but we'll still at least likely get down below freezing in many of our west side valleys. Currently 43 degrees in Medford, it's 35 in Klamath Falls. We're down to freezing right now in Chemult at 32 degrees, and it's 46 along the coast in Gold Beach. Also tonight with little wind, we are already starting to see that drop in air quality in our inland valleys, moderate in Grants Pass, Medford, and Klamath Falls. air stagnation advisory through noon on Friday, but winds are going to pick up tomorrow, and that is going to help on that front when it comes to poor air quality in the valleys. But this is a cold front that's going to come through, mainly dry. We may see a few flurries along and east of the Cascades tomorrow evening, but the bigger impact is going to be winds cranking up and colder temperatures moving in for the weekend. We do have Friday night through Saturday a pretty expansive wind advisory for our region. Gusts up to 45 miles per hour possible with winds out of the northeast. Check out the snow report. Those winds cranking up for Saturday. Gusts on Mount Ashland as high as 45 miles per hour, a high of 30. But with those winds, it's going to feel even colder. Also some windy and colder weather for the Mount Shasta ski park as well as we head into this weekend. I'll talk more about the cold and the wind into the weekend and what's looking like to be a change in our weather by later next week. That's all coming up in just a bit.
Matt, thank you. The Medford School Board is meeting right now and on the agenda addressing complaints from October that were filed against board member Michael Williams.
Now, he was not present in a meeting in November, so it was determined by the board that no action should be taken until he has an opportunity to make a statement. The board did say today that since Williams has not made a statement, they're waiting for that timeline, but we do know that he is at the meeting tonight, and we'll see if he does make a statement.
I've been advised by my attorney to leave the room for this portion of the meeting. That is what I am doing now. Thank you.
Board member Michael Williams left a meeting in December when he became the topic.
I'm right there in the direct line of fire of Michael Williams. He doesn't want to own it, but he's attacked me directly for the last 6 months.
An investigation into a Medford School Board member concludes that he made threats to district staff this year, including the district's director of security, Ron Havnier. That investigation came from a complaint against Williams by Havnier. He said Williams made threats to him. Some public comment periods last month got heated over the matter.
Looks like once again Ron and Brett are a bunch of lying scaredy cat drama queens. Michael's tools were never a problem until he started to ask questions. Everyone who defends Brett has 6 figures to do so. But sure, Ron, Brett's the best. I really didn't think I could distrust and loathe this board and administration.
Nathaniel, we have asked you to stop. You have violated the procedures that we laid out at the beginning.
Ron can cuss at your meetings on camera, but I can't speak my 3 minutes?
You cannot speak about a staff member.
You can have this for all time. You guys are pathetic!
You're going to have to leave.
There are 2 unresolved complaints against Williams that the board will be looking into tonight. That meeting starting at 5:30. We'll have more details coming up tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 11.
And let's take a live look into that meeting right now. You'll see Michael Williams in the white. Looks like he appears to be speaking, so let's listen in.
However, I have concerns about the credit inflation and the value of a high school diploma. My concern is, one, are we tracking the number of students who maybe get out of 8th grade and might not be on grade level whenever they, are on, particularly for things like.
They are not talking about those concerns there, but we do know that they will be speaking on his part. We're not sure if he'll leave that meeting, but of course we'll keep you updated on NewsWatch 12 at 11 tonight. Also moving to a crime watch tonight, a 2-year-long drug investigation revealed a family-run enterprise importing narcotics in Jackson County. 20 people were arrested and charged with drug trafficking and money laundering related offenses. The Medford area drug and gang enforcement team, along with partner agencies, executed 14 search warrants. For more details on this investigation, head to our website, kdrb.com.
The Palm Motel and Cottages welcomes its guests in Ashland with a grand marquee. And now the staff wants your input on what that marquee should say.
And Leave Column teaches us more about this tradition and what it means to the community.
Ashland visitors have a few lodgings to choose from along Siskiyou Boulevard, but the Palm Motel and Cottages stands out for one reason: its marquee. The motel has been serving guests since 1944, but the tree-shaped sign got put up 22 years later, and since 2021, it's been constantly changing.
We like to change it every week, but occasionally we'll change it twice a week if something interesting and exciting is going on in the valley.
Daily Operations Manager Sam Monning told me the team keeps a Word document filled with ideas and keeps a finger on the pulse of the community.
Occasionally, a small minority might not like what the sign says, so we'll take it down. But everybody seems to really enjoy our humor and the fun we have with it.
If it wasn't for a community survey in 2002, the sign could have been taken down altogether, but Monning says the slogans draw guests inside for more.
It invites and encourages creativity, connection, conversation, and the community really enjoys our sense of humor, and they love to play with it back.
Reporting in Ashland, I'm Leave Collum.
On the school watch, students at Henley Middle School got the chance to use forensic science techniques in order to analyze a fake crime scene and solve a mock murder mystery. Thanks to Henley High senior Izzy Golier, she taught a one-week forensics unit to a medical detective class. Students spent days applying evidence-based science methods to identify the murderer. Pretty cool.
And this morning, the Central Point Library had to close its doors after a car ran into the building. Jackson County Library Services said some windows were shattered and the library will be closed for the rest of the day. They were able to open their doors at 2 this afternoon after that window was boarded up. No one was injured in this incident.